Hi guys, and welcome to Chitchat with me, Faith Wibo. Today on the show, I have one of Kenya's most renowned sports anchors.
Thank you.
Very talented. He is Waihiga Mwaura, and we'll be talking to him and just getting to know a bit about him, what he does. Yeah. Karibu.
Thank you.
How are you today?
I am well. It's actually a lovely day.
It is. It's very sunny.
Yeah.
So just introduce yourself briefly for those people who don't have TVs.
All right. My name is Waihiga Mwaura, aka Higgs, and I am a sports journalist, sports anchor. I've been in the industry now for about 7 years. I also dabble in digital media. It's the next big space, so I'm working on something with that in that same regard. I'm also a part-time student and a lover of God.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. So what made you go into sports journalism? It's not an area that many people actually think about. Yeah.
Well, it's actually, it's a story that could take a long day.
Just
and I know
shorten
the
it.
interview is like 15 minutes.
I know,
so I'll compress it to like 1 minute.
Okay.
I was interested in media, and yet, coincidentally, I hadn't done it for my undergrad.
Yeah.
I'd done a different course. So when I finished everything and I was trying to figure out what I want to do in life, media somehow came knocking on my door. It began with a show that I acted in. From that show, I hosted another show, which now linked me up with Citizen TV.
All right.
Now at that point, Citizen TV's morning show, the Power Breakfast Show, had a spot for a sports, not exactly a sports anchor per se, maybe just a sports correspondent.
Yeah.
And so Kobe Kihara asked me to audition for that. I did. Miraculously, I got it with my limited sports knowledge. And from there, you know, I've grown. I've learned more on the job than I did before I actually joined. So that's how I joined the sports desk.
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell.
Interesting. So apart from traveling the world and meeting all these other influential people, what's the most fun thing about your job?
I think what I love about my job is that there's never a dull moment. Rarely do we sit down. I don't have, and then in sports there are very few press conferences.
Yeah.
I remember I did an internship once where I was in a business desk, where we would go for these like 1 day long seminars about the state of the economy. And sometimes they can be fun, but now you're talking about banking terms and everything, it was so boring. So one thing I got to love about my job was the dynamism of the day. One day I could be in a different country or a different part of town. One day I could be, you know, spend the whole day outside the office. I'm naturally restless. And so this job really worked very well with my character.
Nice.
Yeah.
So who are some of the most interesting people you've interviewed in your career?
Oh, wow. Okay. John Barnes. Former
who
Liverpool,
is that?
former
For
Liverpool star.
some of us who are not sports.
Yeah, no, I can see the guy behind the camera nodding his head. He knows what I'm talking about. So last year I went to Liverpool for the Road to Anfield tour. It's something done by Standard Chartered. I actually got to stand on the greens of the Liverpool stadium. It's called Anfield, and I even slept on it and took a selfie on the ground because I'm shady like that. But I got to interview John Barnes, who's a former Liverpool legend, and I liked him because he's real, he's funny, and he's to the point. Who else have I interviewed that I missed Usain Bolt's interview? Can you imagine? I wasn't at work.
What happened?
I wasn't at work that day.
You should have just gone to work.
I didn't know. He came so mysteriously. But I haven't interviewed Messi, but I've watched him play.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like in the stadium.
Yeah.
So
how was that? How was that experience?
Well, you know the problem now with the stadium, he's far.
But you're in the stadium. At least
Yes,
in the
so
stadium.
you can feel it. But then you want to reach out and actually just say hi to him. But it was good to actually see the prowess of Messi in person.
Yeah.
He is as good as he looks like on TV in person. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So you're in the public light. You're in the limelight. And so how would you say your life has changed before? You know, previously you may be doing something different, and then you came into the limelight, especially doing sports. How has that changed? Has it changed?
Yeah, well, I've tried not to allow it to change, in that I've tried to keep my friends. And there are promises I made to myself when I joined the industry that I would do a certain number of things to keep me grounded. And so far I think they've worked. How it has changed is that I remember when I was new in the media, there's a certain joint I used to eat at near where I used to live. There was a kibanda where food was like 30 bob. And I remember now, as I began to rise in the media, I began to feel self-conscious about going there. And then one day I just noticed, like, my mind would tell me no. So I guess there's certain places that you don't normally go to, and if you go, you've got a hat and shades that guys don't know where you are. I think media has a lot of expectation. both we who are in the media put pressure on ourselves, and then you out there, you know, you hear people saying, you mean people in the media go to such places as such?
Do you even take a mat?
Do you take a mat? Do you buy mitumba? You know, things like that. So those things take an effect on you. You try and fight them, but after a while you notice that there are things you can't do. But yes, so I guess to a measure things have changed. But I'm glad we're not the way things are in the West, where now when you're in the media and everything is like crazy. Here at least,
it's like paparazzi everywhere.
Yes, at least in Kenya, our paparazzi industry hasn't grown as much as the paparazzi that you have in the States, who will be clicking when you're leaving your house and clicking when you're going in. No, here at least things are a bit more sober.
All right.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask, which sports personalities fascinate you? Okay, apart from Messi. Yeah.
I think the ones that fascinate me are the ones who not one-hit wonders, the ones who've shown that through consistency and progression that you can actually make something in your life. There's a rule: do something for 10,000 hours and you will be an expert at it. So you see this interview you're doing now?
We need to do like...
When you've done 10,000 hours of it, then you'll be the best at that.
Wow.
Tiger Woods started playing when he was a kid. He's dedicated. While you and I after school, we'd be playing and running around, he would be going to the golf green to play with his dad and with their coach. And that's why he is where he was, because right now, you know, he's not as good as he used to be, but he's been the best. The Williams sisters as well, started when they were younger. So for me, I like people like them. Yani, you start when you're young and you just, you're the best in the world right now.
Okay, interesting. So do you have a dream interview? You know, is there that one person you're like, I need to get that interview?
I'll tell you something interesting about my sports career. Initially, my sports career was interviewing personalities, covering events and things like that. But over the last 2 years, I found myself slanting more towards investigative sports journalism. Last year, I did a story on doping in Kenya, which actually got approved by the World Anti-Doping Agency, which is like the global agency handling doping. They sent a circular across the world saying that we approve this report done in Kenya. So now I'm taking you that side. I can tell you who I'd want to interview. Sepp Blatter. The most, okay, he has denied it, but a man could be obviously the most corrupt man in football. I'd like to understand how he has managed to just weave such a tale that for over 30 years he ran the sport and nobody could catch him until last year. You know, so for me, those are the kind of interviews that would fascinate me. To sit down with a man who has controlled everything that you watch. He's had a hand in it. How did he do it? And how did he get away? Those are the stories now that fascinate me.
Oh, interesting. So let's talk a bit about your accolades. I know you're a very humble person. You don't like talking about this. But let me just ask, you having won the CNN awards and the Mama. How has that impacted your career? Do you feel motivated that now people are at least recognizing my work? Or how does that impact you?
Two things. Okay, fine. First of all, about the CNN award, I think that one came very early in my career. It came in 2012? And by then I'd been in media for about 3 years. And remember, I didn't have a media background. So I actually came into media sort of like a... I know it sounds weird when someone says God told me, but I felt God led me into media. And so sometimes when God leads you somewhere, you're not quite sure that you're hearing your own voices, or you actually have that confirmation from Him. So for me, the CNN award was confirmation that you are in the right place. Keep going, you shall do greater things. Because I always thought in my heart, people win awards after 5 years, 10. The likes of, in fact, I remember telling someone, the likes of Alex Tamwada, who have been in this industry for 10, 15 years. Those are the kind of people who apply for such awards. Not me. I mean, I'm still in school. I'm trying to study. I'm a humble sports journalist. Sports news comes at the tail end of the bulletin. Sometimes we even stay awake to watch it. So for me to win that award that early, it opened my eyes. It made me begin dreaming even bigger, and it was amazing. And then winning even the Mamas, of course, being the inaugural edition of the Mamas, and actually winning again for me was just a reconfirmation as well. But secondly, I also wanted to just add something real quick. Awards also are a very challenging thing for someone's career, because when you win one, it's not enough. It's almost like, what is it? Are you a chocolate cake fan?
Anytime.
When you get a small piece of chocolate cake, does it make you feel that you want more?
You always want
and
more.
that's one of the challenges of awards, that when you win one, your heart
Like,
begins to ask you, was
Yeah.
this a flukes?
Yeah.
Or can I win it again?
Again.
And sometimes if you're not confident in who you are, it can be a very nasty cycle.
All right.
You know? Yeah.
Okay. So we're talking about sports and all things football and all these things. Do you have a team that you support? Football team.
Football team.
Yes.
Okay. Well, internationally, I'm proud to support Manchester United.
All right.
It's
Have you seen them playing?
Oh, live? No,
Yeah.
no. I mean, I wish. I went to, actually, I've never watched an English Premier League match live, just a World Cup match.
Okay.
So sadly, I haven't, but I hope one day I'll be able to go to Old Trafford and catch a match live. Our team hasn't been doing very well the last couple of years.
Why? What has been happening?
We had a very legendary manager called Sir Alex Ferguson, and he was amazing, but I have one fault with him. He never prepared a succession plan. So when he left, the managers who have come after him have been unable to get the team back to where it was. So right now, navumilia.
Unavumilia kwa Man U fan.
Lakini sitoki.
That's the spirit.
If Arsenal fans have been with their team since the glory days of the Invincibles and they've never left, I'm not leaving.
All right.
Yeah.
So being a sports anchor, are you looking into getting into sports anytime in the future?
That's an interesting one. I told you that I have an interest in digital media.
Yes.
So that's another part of me that I am working on. But in terms of sports, sports content is something I would consider doing in the future.
Yeah.
Doing sports shows even online is something I am planning. I love what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're utilizing the YouTube space.
Yes.
It's the next big channel. Not even the next big, it's the now.
Yeah.
It's the now big channel. And I am planning how later on this year I want to start something similar to what you're doing, but now for sports fans. Because sports has become so dynamic. Guys don't wait for the news to see what happened in sports. They are watching the matches live, they are watching online, they are betting, everything they're doing is online. So I also want to give them content online as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's potential future plan.
Hi guys, thank you for stopping by at Kipepeo TV. I hope that you've enjoyed the videos, and if you want to see more of such interviews, make sure you subscribe here. And yeah, we can interact, and also let me know who you would want to see on the show. Thanks again for watching. My name is Faith Bibo.